What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Human League. We're returning to Hysteria, the 1984 album. Thank you again to Mr. Solo. And the next track is The Sign, which immediately on the surface makes me think of a tune from about 10 years later, the Ace of Base song. Nevertheless, and without digressing into a very detailed and pretentious discussion of semiotics, I would just say a sign is that which carries meaning, intentional or otherwise, through some form of communication, and in that regard, the sign with the definite article the suggests that it is a sign which has particular, indeed singular, importance and or significance, at least in a given context. And so a sign, once again, can be an intentional use of a certain word or a gesture to another person. It can be an unintentional and perhaps even unconscious gestural or body language type of sign or signal. So yes, I suppose there's a lot suggested by the title, but of course without a larger sentence or phrase that it is part of, it is only a starting point and could be any number of possibilities in a given narrative or scene setting. So let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is the Human League. The track is The Sign, and it's from the 1984 album Hysteria. Funky bass line.
Around the nation, around the world, what's been going down? A million voices, one question home, heard in every town. All of the people, one simple plea. What will happen now? Asked and concerned for their destiny. Got to know somehow. They say everything will be fine. Everything will be fine.
In 1984. clever tune. I think it's cleverly written. I think there's a bit of cheekiness and sarcasm to it. I see it, given that this is 84, in the larger geopolitical context of the Cold War and the threats of mutually assured destruction and nuclear annihilation. I suppose it could have meanings beyond that, or narrower or smaller than that. But given some of the lines about our world could be gone without a sound, which makes me think of that line, is it T.S. Eliot? The world ends not with a bang but with a whimper. But yes, the idea that even before the speed of sound carries these compressed airwaves of explosions or destruction, everything could be gone instantly. I do feel like it's getting at desires for a reassuring teleology, which is to say, and to borrow some lines from Carl Sagan, the idea that, we long for a parent to take care of us, to tell us that things are going to be okay. But as Carl Sagan says, better the hard truth than the reassuring fable. If we crave a cosmic purpose, let us find one ourselves. And it sounds like it's basically saying people all around the world, they want to know, they want to be told that things are going to be okay. And it sounds like maybe the answers from the geopolitical authorities, the national governments and so on, is like, don't worry, it's going to be okay, it's going to be fine. But it sounds like, again, there's a bit of irony or sarcasm to that, and that in 1984, and heck, in 2025, it feels like some of these claims of, oh, everything's going to be great, and, now that we're in charge, don't worry about it, everything's going to be fine, it seems like it's more of a hope and just trying to latch on to a reassuring fable rather than opening up your eyes and looking around and saying, conflicts and threats of nuclear weapons and so on, maybe things aren't going to be okay. Maybe the world could end with a whimper or faster than the spread of sound. So yeah, lyrically, I feel like it's cleverly written, and whether or not I'm reading it exactly right, I do think there's a disconnect between whether things will be fine or not and the actual sentiment being expressed by the chorus. And I do like the way that Oki and the ladies are sort of going back and forth and in tandem on that. And then sonically, it has that main fluttering type of synth riff that really sort of dominates the melody, a very funky bass line, and I did like when it seemed to flourish a little bit sonically, like in the latter half of the tune. So maybe sonically not the most standout track, but I was very keyed into the lyrics, and I think the overall vibe gave me that, like, are we just all pretending that this is going to be fine? Are we just all, trying to put on a happy face and, looking for that sign that'll convince us, okay, now I'm comfortable in the teleology. We're all moving toward the optimal future as we're being told, or is there more to it than that? So, as I said, a tune that I think is very engaging in terms of the themes at play, and I like the, again, funky bass line and the fluttery synth riff to boot. So yeah, a cool one. Looking forward to the rest of the album. Do let me know what you think. In the moment, I'm trying to remember how many more we have. I have the Discogs master release open here. Okay, so 3 more on the proper album. In the moment, I don't remember if there's any extra tunes. I don't think so. Sometimes the folders I'm working from have B-sides or bonus tracks, but I think it's just the proper album tracks. Yeah, so 3 more to go on the album. The next one when we come back will be So Hurt. So keen to see what that'll be about. Do let me know what you think of this, and I will see you then. Peace.